Hello and welcome back to Koala Moon, children's bedtime stories and meditations designed to make bedtime a dream. Koko Goes to the USA by Susanna McLaughlin. Deep in the heart of a faraway forest stood a cozy cabin. Inside the cabin lived a family of koalas. The youngest koala was called Koko. It was a warm summer's day in Sleepy Forest. The sky was blue and bees buzzed from flower to flower. Koko had nothing to do but walk through the trees and play his pink ukulele. A perfect day. He thought he'd spend the morning playing on the porch. Then maybe he'd go for a stroll along Sleepy River and play some more. There was nothing Koko loved more than playing his ukulele. Except for going on adventures, perhaps. The little koala strolled out of the cabin and took a big stretch in the sunshine. His Auntie Shirley was visiting, and he thought he might compose a new song to play for her that evening. As he sat down on the porch and began to strum a gentle melody, a good friend of his strolled out through the trees. Koko stopped playing, and a big grin lit up his face. It was Ember, an eagle with beautiful deep orange eyes that reminded Koko of the afternoon sunshine. Ember ran over to Koko excitedly and wished him a good morning. Koko wished her a good morning too, still smiling a big, beaming smile. "Do you know what day it is?" Ember asked Koko. Koko furrowed his brow and thought carefully. It was hard to keep track of the days in the summer. "It's Thursday," he said with a grin. Ember grinned too. "Yes, Koko," she said. "But more than that, it's the 3rd of July. Which means tomorrow is a very special day." Koko asked her what special day it was. Ember giggled. 4th of July, of course." Ember explained that in her country, over the sea, the 4th of July was a very special holiday. It was Independence Day, which meant they celebrated their country and commemorated that it was on that date, many, many years ago, that the country began to look after itself, with no one ruling over them. She explained that they would eat food together, be with their families, and watch fireworks. Koko's eyes were sparkling. Fireworks and delicious food? He thought the holiday sounded right up his street. Ember explained that she and her family would be flying over to the USA to celebrate this special day with her aunties and uncles, and asked whether Koko and his family would like to come. Koko nodded excitedly. Then he paused. He asked Ember how the koala family would fly to the USA. They didn't have wings, after all. "Well, I do sometimes," Koko corrected himself, "when I go on magical adventures." Ember said that it was no matter. No wings would be necessary. After all, Auntie Shirley was visiting, and hadn't she arrived on a little aeroplane? Koko smiled. She was right. Aunt Shirley, the intrepid adventurer, had arrived in her new, tiny red aeroplane that very morning. In fact, it was parked behind the cabin right now. Ember said that Aunt Shirley could fly the plane next to the eagles on their journey. If she wanted to, that is, she finished shyly. Koko thought his family would love to celebrate the 4th of July, but he said he would check with them just in case. Koko hopped and skipped up the steps and across the porch of the cabin. Inside, Koko's mum and dad were in the kitchen, drinking tea with Auntie Shirley. Music floated on the air from the living room, where Koko's grandparents were gracefully dancing to the radio. Koko told his family about the eagle's invitation, and they seemed thrilled. Unfortunately, Koko's parents wouldn't be able to go. They would be spending the next couple of days at the beach, at a luxury hotel, to celebrate their anniversary. Auntie Shirley, on the other hand, said she couldn't wait for the adventure, and of course she would come along. Koko's grandma and grandpa said they would like to come as well. Grandpa said he had been to the USA as a boy, and that he had found a particular love for their delicious food. He patted his round tummy. "It's not as good as Grandma's, of course," he assured Koko with a wink. Grandma blushed bashfully and batted Grandpa with her paw. Auntie Shirley said all they would need to do is prepare the aeroplane, ready for the morning, if Koko wouldn't mind helping her. Koko nodded, and all was settled. He ran out to Ember and told her that they would love to come and thank you for the invitation. Ember hugged Koko in excitement and told him the eagles would meet him in the morning. Koko assured her that he couldn't wait. Koko and Aunt Shirley spent the afternoon preparing the little shiny aeroplane for their adventure. They polished the propellers and dusted the windows, packed the luggage into the little cupboards, and made sure there was a comfy pillow and cozy blanket for each of the 4 passengers. Koko's grandma soon emerged from the cabin with some cold glasses of lemonade for the workers. As Koko sat on the grass, sipping his glass, he looked up into the sky. It was as bright and clear as the bluest sea. Birds twittered and tweeted, floating on the breeze. Their tunes danced into Koko's ears. Koko gazed up at them in excitement. "That will be us soon, soaring through the sky," he told Auntie Shirley. Auntie Shirley chuckled. She told him that when she was flying in her airplane on her travels, she always waved to the birds that flew past. She said it felt like she was one of them when she flew. Koko grinned and said she didn't have enough feathers to be a bird. That night, Koko thought he might be too excited to sleep. But after a warm bubble bath and a frothy hot chocolate, he dozed off by the fire, and his dad had to carry the sleeping koala to bed. He kissed Koko on the head and wished him sweet dreams, knowing he would be dreaming of swooping plains and far-off lands. On the 4th of July, Koko awoke and sat up straight. He already had a smile on his face. He got dressed and brushed his teeth whilst bopping and dancing to a silent tune. He was ready for his trip to the USA. Koko went into the kitchen and hugged his grandpa, who was standing over the stove stirring a delicious steaming pan of porridge. Next, he circled the kitchen table, hugging his mum, dad, and grandma, who were already tucking into their porridge. Koko's grandpa carefully placed a big bowl in front of him, and Koko thanked him and tucked in. The creamy porridge was topped with swirls of jam and blueberries. Koko's mum said it was the perfect breakfast for an adventurer, and Koko agreed. Once all the porridge had been eaten up, there was a knock at the door. It was Martha, Ember's grandma, who greeted the koalas excitedly. Ember's head poked through the doorway next to her grandma, and she waved her wing at Koko happily. The eagles wished the koalas a happy 4th July, and the koalas wished the eagles a happy 4th July in return. Ember smiled at Koko and said well done to him. He had dressed in the perfect colours. Koko looked down at his outfit. He had chosen his favourite soft blue corduroy dungarees and a red and white striped t-shirt. He giggled. Of course, red, white and blue. Those were the colours of the American flag. He smiled bashfully and admitted that it was a happy accident. Auntie Shirley emerged from her bedroom at the back of the cabin. She was wearing a t-shirt with stars and stripes on it, shiny sunglasses, and a bandana all in the shades of red, white and blue. Her outfit certainly wasn't an accident. She looked like a walking flag. Ember and Martha clapped their feathery wings, and the koalas gasped and complimented Shirley on her outfit. It was perfect for the occasion. Grandpa went into his wardrobe and pulled out a stripy tie in all the right colours and handed Grandma her hat with a big blue flower on it, which she saved for special occasions. Now they all were ready. The koalas left the cabin and climbed aboard the shiny airplane. Koko's mum and dad waved from the front porch as the plane rose up and away, following the eagles into the cloudless sky. Koko gazed out of his flying goggles with his mouth agape. He could see for miles. There were green treetops as far as he could see in one direction, and the big blue sea in another. Auntie Shirley turned the plane in a big swoop and a loop-de-loop, and soon they were flying over the sea towards the horizon. Ember waved at Koko from the sky, and Koko waved back gleefully. The little eagle was a fantastic flyer, gliding in and out of her family. It looked such fun, but Koko was happy to lay back in his seat and take a nap. A little while later, as the plane came into land, the little koala was awoken by his grandparents and Auntie Shirley's whooping. The plane came to a halt on a wide clearing of grass where the family of eagles were sitting, resting their wings. As Koko, Grandpa, Grandma and Auntie Shirley joined the eagles on the grass, Koko took in his surroundings. It was even warmer here than in Sleepy Forest. The sun was beating down, and Koko patted himself on the back for bringing his sun hat. The koalas greeted the eagles, and Martha and Ember's mother Delilah came to welcome them. "Welcome to the USA," Delilah sang out to the koalas, taking Auntie Shirley's paw and complimenting her excellent flying skills. The clearing was in the centre of a beautiful cornfield. Green shoots, laden with golden corn, swayed in the light breeze, and Koko was far too small to see over their tops. He imagined that he was the size of an ant, walking through the grass. The thought made him giggle. Delilah told them that it wasn't far to Auntie Patty's house, and that the whole family would be there, ready for a day of fun. Koko took his grandpa's paw in one hand and his grandma's paw in the other, and they followed the eagles through the cornfield. Soon they emerged at a beautiful wooden house with a huge green garden. On the lawn was a huge table surrounded by chairs. There were games piled up on the patio waiting to be played, and tendrils of deliciously scented smoke rose from the barbecue. American flags were fluttering in the wind, and sparkling confetti was scattered across the tablecloth in shining red, white and blue. A friendly-looking eagle with horn-rimmed glasses and a cosy sweater was laying cutlery on the table, and a slightly flustered, flushed eagle wearing an apron crossed the patio with bowls balanced between her wings, filled with treats and snacks. Ember hurried over to Koko and told him that was Uncle Chip and Auntie Patty. The two eagles saw their family emerge from the field, and they both ran over in delight, throwing their wings around the eagles and the koalas too. They wished each other a happy 4th of July, and Koko bounced on the spot in excitement. Uncle Chip flicked on his record player, and the garden was filled with lively music. Koko felt his toes begin to tap, and his head begin to bob. And soon he and Ember were dancing on the lawn, holding on to one another and twirling around until they were dizzy. Koko's grandpa was dancing with Grandma, and Martha and Patty were holding wings and jiving back and forth. The garden was filled with eagles, laughing and joking and having fun. Auntie Shirley was giggling with Delilah and playing cards, and delicious smells continued billowing from the barbecue. Soon, Uncle Chip cawed, and the dancers stopped dancing, out of breath, and grinning ear to ear. The food was ready. The table was now laden with food. There were hot dogs and burgers and delicious buttered corn on the cob. There was mac and cheese, salsa and chips, and bowls of potato salad. There were strawberries and apples and peaches. Koko licked his lips. Auntie Patty placed a bowl of eucalyptus leaf salad in front of the koalas with a wink, and Grandpa licked his lips. They all ate a lot, but Grandpa ate the most. He ate a mountain of mac and cheese and scoop after scoop of potato salad. He ate and ate and ate, then patted his stomach in satisfaction. Then Aunt Patty brought out warm apple pies, and Grandpa ate 2 slices and 3 bites of Grandma's slice too. Not long after, he was napping in Uncle Chip's armchair, snoring peacefully while the party went on around him. Koko and Ember spent the afternoon playing baseball on the lawn, whilst the adults chatted away in the sunshine. When the sun began to set, Auntie Patty told Koko and Ember it was time for everybody to head into town. There would be a parade, ending with fireworks in the park. Ember beamed. "You won't believe the fireworks, Koko," she said. "They fill the whole sky with colourful sparkles. It's amazing." Koko asked if he could guess the colours of the fireworks. "Would they be red, white, and blue?" he asked. Ember chuckled. "Of course," she said. "It's the 4th of July." The eagles and koalas walked together down the road towards town. There were rows of shops and houses, all closed but glowing with light and decorated with flags. There was a bandstand, twinkling with fairy lights, and the night air was filled with the soft scents of the flowers and plants that lined the road. Koko whispered to Ember, "I like the USA." Ember's golden eyes shone with pride, and she took Koko's paw in her wing. The koalas and eagles took their places along the edges of Main Street, where the procession would soon come through. They were ready, each clutching a little flag, ready to wave at the parade. The street filled up with other animals, creating a sea of red, white, and blue. Before long, Koko heard some music drifting from the distance and the sound of footsteps. "Here they come," Ember whispered excitedly. Down the center of the road came animals dressed in lavish costumes. There were bears in fluffy hats, rabbits hopping in waistcoats and bow ties, and bobcats in billowing dresses. All of their outfits were the color of the flag, and they all held bright banners and flags in celebration. Koko waved his flag excitedly. Soon, the source of the music became clear. There was a marching band with gleaming brass instruments and booming drums. They played raucous jazz music and Koko tapped his feet. It was the most uplifting, joyous music, and it made him want to dance. It seemed to make his grandparents feel the same way. "I remember this music," his grandpa called. "And I think I remember the dance moves too." He took Grandma's hand, and the two of them entered the parade and began to dance. Grandpa swirled Grandma under his arm, and Grandma jumped, twirled, and tapped to the music. Koko laughed. They looked right at home in the parade. There were other dancers too, and as the parade passed, people began to follow them down Main Street towards the green trees of the park. As they reached the park, the band began to play the national anthem, and everyone sang along, Koko included. A whole host of animals gathered on the grass. There were opossums and raccoons, cats and dogs, bears and squirrels and deer. There was excitement and music in the air, and everyone was gazing at the now starry sky expectantly. The koalas and eagles headed to the concession stand and passed hot chocolate to one another. Before long, the fireworks began. The whole sky glimmered and gleamed with flashes of light, as if every star in the sky had come to life and was shooting and glowing in ruby red, silver white, and vivid blue. The fireworks seemed to zoom up and burst in time with the music, and the sparkles rained towards the earth, disappearing before they reached the ground. There were gasps from the crowd as each new firework cracked and bloomed into a splash of stars, and every animal was enraptured by the show. As Koko stood there, open-mouthed, with hot chocolate on his cheeks and his Auntie Shirley's arms around his shoulders, he felt like the luckiest koala in the world. It was his happiest 4th of July ever. The very moment that the last firework shimmered and glimmered and disappeared, Koko let out a sleepy yawn. The eagles and koalas walked back to Uncle Chip and Auntie Patty's in warm, sleepy silence. It was time to say good night and head home. The eagles and koalas all hugged one another and said thank you for such a magical day. Uncle Chip and Auntie Patty told the koalas that they would always be welcome, and the koalas told them that they were always welcome in Sleepy Forest too. Ember gave a big yawn. Martha gave her a hug and said she seemed too sleepy to fly, and maybe she should ride with Auntie Shirley and the koalas. Koko told Ember that it would be a perfect way to travel at this time of night, as he had made sure to bring squishy pillows and blankets aboard. Ember nodded sleepily and walked with the koalas back to the clearing, where the little red plane gleamed in the moonlight. The koalas and the little eagle climbed aboard and got cozy, each with their own comfy blanket and cozy pillow. Grandma's soft snores drifted from the back of the plane within minutes. She had a fluffy eye mask on, with 2 silly eyes embroidered onto them, so it looked like she wasn't sleeping at all, but her snores gave her away. As Auntie Shirley manoeuvred the plane up into the stars, Koko gazed out of the window with a soft smile. The deep blue sky twinkled and shimmered over the lands of the USA, and the eagles drifted through the air beside them, waving at Koko through the window. Koko waved back before closing his eyes and beginning to drift off to sleep, lulled to dreamland by the soft hum of the plane's engine and the soft lullaby singing of the pilot. Now we're drifting gently from the waking world into the world of dreams. Our body is soft and heavy. Our arms are heavy and our legs are heavy too. Our breathing is gentle and relaxed. Our breath going in through our noses and down into our chests. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Just like the waves lapping back and forth, carrying you gently into sleep. In the waking world, our bodies are busy and active, but as we pass into the world of dreams, our bodies can relax. Let your bodies relax now. Let your eyes relax. Let your fingers relax. Let your toes relax. Feel all the muscles of your body sink down further into your warm and cozy duvet. Feel your body rest heavily down on the firm comfort of your bed. Now feel as your body relaxes how your mind is released. Feel just how free your mind is. The world of dreams is like a playground for your mind. There are swings and roundabouts and slides where your mind can play. In the world of dreams, your mind gets bigger and bigger and fills your sleep with all kinds of joys and wonders and magical stories. And here is something that not many people know, but it's a secret I'm going to tell you. But you're the only one I'm going to tell. When we go to sleep and pass into the world of dreams, we are accompanied by the kindly spirits who live in the dream world. They live on the moon, and when nighttime comes, they float down softly as silk to meet each person who is drifting into sleep. The dream spirits are waiting there for your mind to arrive, And when you get there, they take your hand in theirs and squeeze it gently and guide you through the world of dreams. Isn't that wonderful? To have a guide who can keep you company even as you sleepwalk through the world of dreams. They take you by the hand, they give you a friendly squeeze, they guide you into sleep. The spirits of the dream world ask you, what would you like to dream about tonight? And because your dreams are your very own playground, where you can build and create anything your imagination desires, you can answer however you like. Maybe tonight in your dreams you would like to climb a tree, sit in the canopy, surrounded by tinkling leaves and bathed in dappled moonlight, and listen to the nightingale sing, or the crickets chirrup from the forest floor below. Or perhaps you would like the dream spirits to guide you into a magical world, where you can learn how to perform all kinds of wondrous spells and charms. You can go on adventures, flying through the air on your broomstick. The white clouds spread out below you like an ocean of fluffy marshmallows. Or maybe you'd like to visit a magical zoo, full of rabbits and puppies and kittens whose fur is so soft and comes in all kinds of different colours, brown and white and black, but also purple and green and blue. In this zoo you can find all kinds of animals that you can't find in the waking world. Animals people in the waking world say couldn't possibly exist. But they do. They do exist. And you know why? Because your mind is so powerful and rich and magical that in the world of dreams, anything is possible. Your imagination is an enchanted place. It can create whole worlds out of thin air, out of nothing. Anything your heart desires can be found in the world of dreams. So let your eyelids be heavy. Let your body sink into the warmth of your duvet. Let your body drift into a deep and peaceful sleep. And let your mind float away into the world of dreams. The dream spirits are waiting to guide you through their magical world, their world of wonder, their world of delight. See the soft smiles on their beaming faces. Feel the warmth of their hands in yours. They take you by the hand. They give you a friendly squeeze. They guide you into sleep. Walk with them and let them lead you on magical adventures into the world of dreams, to jungles of green leaves with all kinds of creatures ready to show you their lives, to castles built out of clouds, to rivers bright as rainbows for you to swim down, to crackling campfires next to lakes where the pitter-patter sound of rain sounds like the gentle tinkling of music. Remember to thank your dream spirits for guiding you lovingly through the land of dreams. Say, thank you, dream spirits. And when you say, thank you, dream spirits, the dream spirits will say, thank you back. Because the dream spirits are just as lucky to accompany you through your magical dream world as you are that the spirits are there to guide you. So let your eyes close. Let the lids fall heavy. Let every part of your body, from the top of your head to the tips of your fingers and toes, be warm and heavy and sleepy. Let your mind slip into the peaceful world of sleep, where anything is possible. Good night.